Welcome to State-Controlled News Canada. Oops, I mean mainstream media. Tonight, we delve into how the government is using your tax dollars to buy, shape, and control the narrative. Think you're getting unbiased news? Think again. You're getting a government-sponsored bedtime story, and it's costing you a cool $18 billion. Let's break it down. Since 2016, the Liberals have pumped $18 billion into the media. You'd think they'd use that money for, I don't know, housing, healthcare, making life affordable? Nope. Instead, they funneled it straight into newspapers, TV, and digital media to make sure the government side of the story is the only one you hear. Under their rule, CBC's budget jumped 27%, from $1.1 billion to $1.4 billion. And now they want to double it to over $2 billion. Why? Because apparently state-run media is a national security investment, which makes total sense. If your biggest national security threat is Canadians thinking for themselves, but CBC is just the appetizer. The real all-you-can-eat buffet of taxpayer-funded media includes $3.3 billion to the Canada Media Fund for government-approved TV and film, $2 billion in journalism subsidies, $700 million to keep magazines afloat. Yes, magazines, because nothing screams essential like a government-funded copy of Reader's Digest. And, of course, the $600 million in emergency COVID funding to keep news outlets afloat because, hey, when you're forcing people into lockdowns, you've got to keep the story straight. And let's not forget Bill C-18, the Online News Act, where the government tried to extort Google and Meta to pay for their content. Meta said, nah, we're good, and blocked all Canadian news instead. Guess who got hit hardest? Not the government-funded media, no. It was the independents, the ones who actually report without cashing a government check. And just in case you thought journalism was about keeping power in check, let's talk about the revolving door between media and government. Who can forget Chrystia Freeland, a former journalist-turned-Liberal minister holding multiple key positions, including during the controversial use of the Emergencies Act? And, of course, a vocal supporter of Ukraine, pushing for military aid and stronger intervention. Evan Solomon, ex-CBC journalist, now running for office under Mark Carney's Liberals. Translation: the government is using your money to fund journalists, then hiring them into power, then passing laws to silence independent voices. It's one big taxpayer-funded echo chamber. And just to make sure you don't stumble onto any inconvenient facts, the government has been working overtime to censor what you see online. Bill C-63, the Online Harms Act, introduced in February 2024, aims to regulate social media platforms by imposing duties to act responsibly, protect children, and remove harmful content within 24 hours. Sounds great, until you realize it's not based on what Canadians actually watch. It's based on what Ottawa wants them to watch. Bill C-18. The Google tax, where the government tried to shake down tech giants to fund their pet media projects. And let's not forget Bill C-36, the proposed online hate speech law that could fine you for offensive posts. Well, what does this all mean? State media up, independent voices down. And just like that, the government controls not just the news, but the internet itself. And now enter Stéphane Perreault, Canada's Chief Electoral Officer. In March 2025, Perreault reached out to major social media platforms, including X, formerly Twitter, and TikTok, to seek their assistance in combating misinformation ahead of the upcoming federal election scheduled for April 28th. He emphasized the importance of these platforms in ensuring a secure electoral process and highlighted concerns about AI-generated content such as deepfakes, which can mislead voters. To address these challenges, Elections Canada launched ElectoFacts, an online tool designed to debunk inaccuracies related to voting and elections. Perreault encouraged Canadians to rely on Elections Canada as the authoritative source for election information and to diversify their news sources to make informed decisions. While safeguarding elections is crucial, one can't help but wonder who decides what's misinformation, and how long before this assistance turns into outright censorship of dissenting opinions. So, let's summarize. $18 billion of your money has gone to keeping the media in line, propping up government-approved narratives and silencing independent voices. Meanwhile, you're paying more taxes, struggling to make ends meet and getting fed a steady diet of state-funded spin. So here's the question. Are we really getting the full story from the government-funded media? Are they shaping the narrative to keep us in line? Or are we just witnessing a clever PR campaign to maintain control over the masses? Let me know what you think. Do you agree with the government's handling of media and public opinion? Or do you see this as a major issue? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get the conversation going. And hey, if you found this video eye-opening, don't forget to like, share and repost it. The more people who see it, the better. After all, the truth deserves to be heard, no matter how uncomfortable it might be for the powers that be. Comment, like, share, #freedom of speech, #truth matters.